Let there be light. Hey, John. Oh, yeah. 8:30. We're moving it from what to what? 8. I'm going away with this. I'm ready now. Let's do this.
Thank you. Let me know if you have any questions or need anything, please. Isn't that cool?
Oh, yeah, that's straight. Wow, let's see. Sometimes you gotta look up. I learned a long time, don't always look up. Something might hit you in the eye. Oh, my. All right.
Okay, we'll call to order the regular meeting of the Eastpointe Community Schools Board of Education. Holy zowie. May 23rd, 2002 at 6:32. Please call the roll.
Mr. Williams.
Here.
Ms. Rayford.
Here.
Mr. Roscoe.
Here?
Mr. Grunberg.
Here.
Dr. Early here. Mr. DeVita and Mr. Ward excused.
If we could please stand for the pledge. Hey, Dan, hang on 1 second. There's a guy walking in. We'll let him get in place too. You ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, I need, before we approve the agenda, 8 is being changed. A is going to become curriculum instead of Board of Education. 1 and 2 will go away, and we'll have a 1, which is an overnight field trip request for, I guess, the high school track. To go to Grand Rapids
All right.
for the state championship.
Cool beans. Cool beans.
6 of them,
All
from
6.
what I understand. 6, right?
6.
Yeah, 6.
Well, that's a good number. Is there a motion to approve the agenda with the addition and changes?
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda changes,
Support.
with changes.
Please call the vote.
Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Roscoe.
Yes.
Ms. Rayford.
Yes.
Mr. Grunberg.
Yes.
Dr. Early, yes.
Is there a motion for consent agenda?
Place forth a motion to approve the consent agenda as written. All right.
Somebody signaling support?
It took you off guard.
The voice I heard was Ms. Rayford, right?
Yes.
Jesus calling.
Right. Mr. Roscoe.
Yes.
Ms. Rayford.
Yes.
Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Grunberg.
Yes.
And Dr. Early, yes.
Okay, next we have Superintendent's Report, Dr. McLeod.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have a few announcements this evening. First of all, our high school students, if you go check out our Facebook page, you can see some of our high school students this past weekend had their prom. Super exciting to see They were at the Rooster Tail in Detroit, and it was a fantastic event. They had wonderful weather for it, and it looks like everyone had a great time there. Also last week, the Macomb County League of Women Voters was at the high school, registering our high school seniors to be able to vote. So again, another great opportunity to involve our students in the voting and taking an active role in making choices in their local community and beyond when it comes to their voting. So super exciting about that. We also have preschool registration that is taking place. So anyone interested in 3 or 4-year-old preschool for next year, you can reach out to our Early Learning Center and they'll be happy to talk with you about that process. I do want to remind the families that we do not have school on Monday, May 30th. It is Memorial Day and the schools will be closed. However, we do have a number, I think, maybe of some board members and our band and some other students that are participating in the Memorial Day Parade that morning. So we'll see you there. Also this week, Friday at 12:45 over at Bellevue Elementary, there is a program called Watering Our Flowers, which is a grief support group for students who have experienced trauma due to a personal loss. So they are having a walk there to celebrate life and to recognize their loss and to be able to kind of use that as a way to help through the grieving process. Also, June 7 p.m. on June 7th is the high school graduation at Jimmy John Field. We're excited to be able to recognize our seniors as we get back. We did Jimmy John Field, as you may remember, as a shift based on COVID previously, but we enjoyed it so much that we are headed back there. And then the final, let me just see, just the final thing, which I think is going to be an item, so I won't even talk about it, is about our track students who have qualified for the state finals, and so I'll let Mrs. Gibson talk about that when it gets to that, but that concludes my report for this evening.
Okay, next we have first hearing of the public. Anyone wish to be heard? Anyone wish to be heard? Seeing none, we'll open and close that at 6:36. Next discussion, action. We had some kind of change here. What's this all about now?
Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. This evening, we have an exciting addition to our board meeting agenda. We have had 6 student athletes from Eastpointe High School qualify for the states in track and field. Kenneth Williams and Daniel Murphy both qualified in the 100-meter dash. Kiana Murphy, Nevaeh Curtis, Gina Safone, and Kelsey Pearson qualified in the 4x4 relay. So we'll be sending the boys' track delegates as well as the girls' track delegates. This evening, we're asking for you to approve an overnight field trip so that the athletes, their coaches, and the high school principal can head over to Grand Rapids and get there on June 3rd for their events on June 4th.
And I would like just to add, normally that would not be something we would do, add an event like this last minute. Unfortunately, this all just happened Friday, so we were not even aware that this was going to be.
Yep, and the competition is going to be happening.
Saturday.
It happened on Friday at the end
okay.
of the day at Hazel Park is where our students qualified. And unfortunately, we don't have a board meeting in between now and states. So the
Except for this.
competition is the 3rd and the 4th, and we were able to add this agenda item for your attention this evening.
Is there a motion to approve?
Yes.
So moved. No, yeah was a motion.
Place forth the motion that we accept this.
This is
Send
one
our
where I think
kids
we
to
could
the-
probably get away with
Yeah,
unanimous.
you'll get away with
Just a voice vote.
In a hurry, unanimous.
Take your pick. I don't care. Robert,
Anybody?
motion.
Yeah.
Mary,
Absolutely.
second.
Okay,
Please call the vote.
Mr. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Rayford,
Yes.
Mr. Grunberg,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Dr. Early, yes.
Next, we have second hearing of the public. Does anyone wish to be heard? Anyone wish to be heard? Seeing none, we'll open and close that at 6:40. Trustees' announcements, we'll start with Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Dr. Williams.
Congratulations to the track and field state qualifiers. That's excellent. Congratulations to Angelina Pearson, the new hire. And I just want to, again, invite the public to our meetings and to help us to celebrate our kids at their best and bright, shining moments. One of the CTE classes also had a chance to tour Comerica Park. I think it was the business class or something like that. That looked very fun and exciting. And just come out and look at what our early learning centers are doing, our middle school and our high schools are doing. We're actually in a process, or we're actually growing and moving forward for the better. I mean, the past, we can't change it, but the future is bright. So come on out and support us, the community and everyone that's interested. Don't just go by what you hear, go by what you know. And that's coming out, getting involved in the process. And we can all grow together as a school and a community. And with that being said, I also want to say I hope our colleague gets better, Keith Ward, and happy birthday, Julie. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Ms. Rayford.
Thank you. I think I have 3 or 4 things I wanted to talk about. One was last Friday, we attended the Aaron Park ribbon cutting, and the Community Housing Network did give me a plaque for the school. Unfortunately, I left it on my dining room table. So I will make sure it gets to the administration building tomorrow. And I wanted to ask a question, and I don't necessarily want it answered right now, but question about onboarding procedures and who conducts that with a new member. And are we going to extend the start date for Boys and Girls Club, assuming we get the agreement back in a timely manner? So.
Should I answer? Would you like?
I
Oh,
mean, if you know the answer,
Yeah.
be sure.
you've got time.
What I would say right now is, I will have Mrs. Gibson follow up with you about the onboarding, because the onboarding is, there is a whole team that does onboarding, so I'm not exactly sure which part in particular. But we have a bunch of coaches and other people who help with like curriculum and things, so, but Mrs. Gibson will follow up with you on that. And then, as far as the Boys and Girls Club, I don't know what the answer is to that question, because the negotiations, I would say, are ongoing.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the delay may end up being longer than, what we had hoped. I know they are still hoping to be able to keep the, I think, June 27th launch. But that will all depend on how quickly we're able to move through the negotiations about the lease agreement.
Okay.
Dr. Early.
I want to say congratulations to our young people. They are doing fabulous things in this district. It's wonderful to see and hear about stuff like this. But just don't let this be the standard. Come to the buildings and see what our children are doing, and see what the teachers are doing, and the accomplishments that they're making that you don't hear about in the boardroom. Come to the school and look in the classrooms and see what our children are doing. Thank you.
Mr. Roscoe.
Congratulations to the track team that made the state. Kiana Murphy, Nevada Curtis, Gina Cavani, and Kelsey Person, Kenneth Millen, and Danielle Murphy. If I miscorrect spelled or mentioned your name, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure we've done a great shout out, a huge shout out for you, and congratulations in your endeavor. I want to say congratulations to the new hire, and to piggyback off of the diocese at the board here, that come on out and participate with us, and we can work this thing out together. We can learn together, and we can move forward together. We have a great administration, a great board, and without you, we can't do a community. Come on in and join the party. Come on and join us. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. A couple things. First off, graduation coming up. Jimmy John's, it was a fantastic event last time. Weather was wonderful. If you see me in sunglasses, it's not because I'm trying to look cool. Last time when we were seated, the sun was kind of in our eyes a little bit from time to time.
Yeah, it was.
So I will be bringing sunglasses with me if the weather's as similar as it was last year. And then touch on a couple of things. One is the track. You know, we get excited up here, and it is a very exciting time for everybody involved, right? I mean, when you see some of our kids excelling at that level, it's just a fantastic thing to see. But I can tell you, I've had the experience of actually being able to live through some of my kids in this experience as well, too, performing at this level. And I don't know, I think maybe fortunately, rather than unfortunately, it was local, the state championships were. Therefore, they were able to sleep in their own bed, which I think was advantageous to them. This here is going to be a little bit different. They're going to be in Grand Rapids, staying in a hotel. But the pride the parents feel as far as seeing their child excel like that, it's weird. I wasn't too wrapped up in it. It was just the overwhelming pride. It was just pride, so I can describe. And then for the athlete, the fruition of the hard work. Because I can tell you that in general, a lot of kids don't understand this, and they think that a lot of athletes that reach that level got there just because they were naturally gifted. There is a lot of hard work that goes in to be able to excel and reach that level to where you're actually going to the finals for the state championships. And I applaud them for all the hard work they did, and it's coming to fruition, and mainly enjoy it. I don't have any words of advice, like I'm sure their coaches are trying to prepare them as far as how they should get prepared for their races and stuff. I'm amazed at, I think you said the two young men, same event. So you're telling me we have two of the fastest kids in our school, in the state, in 100 meters? I think 16, isn't it? I think it's top 16 goes to finals for individual stuff, yeah. Usually it's top 16. So we have two of the top 16 kids in their division. That's incredible. I can imagine what practice was like. I mean, seeing these guys go head to head, I mean, that's why they got so good probably, I'm sure. Okay, and then the other thing I wanted to touch on is it was kind of like a step back in history to a certain extent, and I was kind of amazed that this still occurs. When I got home from work one day this past week, Miss Connie from across the street comes running over. They had an event going on, and they had all the students there, which they were excited about because with the COVID going on and the limited, now they were able to finally start having some events, and she was excited. She wanted me to come over and see, and da-da-da. But then she took me off to a classroom, and this is where I really was kind of stunned. She showed me these chicks. These chicks. And I'm thinking to myself, what's going on here? And she says, well, and come to find out that actually the principal got the fertilized eggs from her sister, and these eggs are actually from chicks that they had last year, and these chicks will go to a farm. And I'm thinking, in this day and age, what other district does that? I mean, I would be curious to find out if anybody else does anything like that. That just reminds me of when I was a kid, and some of the things that are so important. You know, I mean, it just teaches the kids an awful lot. And on top of that, even though that was only in one classroom, they have a camera and goes to each other classroom in the school so that all the kids can see what's going on as the chicks are hatching and stuff like this. So I was just amazed, and when I saw it, I said, I gotta mention that at the next board meeting for sure, just because I couldn't believe that kind of thing was still going. And that's the type of thing that the principal of our early learning center is bringing to that center. It's just that it's almost, to me, it's like a down-home family atmosphere, you know, trying to grow these kids, you know, and I just love it. That's about all I have, and, yeah, the weather took a little bit of dip, but I still think my warning as far as kids being outside playing is in effect. We'll call the meeting adjourned at 6:50. 20 minutes.
Yeah. Ciofani. Ciofani.
No,
I
it's
should-
actually